think everyone that's been online has already been in one of the sessions. So this is just a simple reminder that everyone's mic is muted to start with. That way we don't get feedback through the speakers and the mic. And so if you go to comment, you're going to have to make sure to unmute yourself before saying what you need to say. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see where this presentation goes. Just a touch of history is if you already don't have a Lindsey, you need a Lindsey. And what I mean is you need Lindsey Wisdom Johnson to you know, help inspire and create and do stuff. It's kind of been a running joke for some of us around the world is, you know, we talk to Lindsey and he kind of helps inspire and helps us create. And it's really fostered this whole idea of long distance collaboration, which is especially important in the present day, you know, that we can't work together. I know Lindsey's worked with a ton of folks. I've personally worked with him on an art project where we repurposed some scraps from his from cutoffs. We repurposed Tyvek scraps into a ground art display and then 3D printed the parts and all of this, and they're beautiful. And we did all of this via long distance collaboration, me living about 6-7 hours away from him. And the first time we tried him out and flew him is pretty much a few months after we came up with the concept and started putting them together, and then flew them at the Lincoln City Kite Festival. So we used a lot of tools, which I'm sure he's going to talk about. And really, that's my takeaway from this whole presentation and what have you, is that there's a tremendous amount of tools out there that we can work together and create more, even though we're not physically next to one another. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Lindsey. Hey, Lindsey, you're going to have to unmute yourself. And Mitch, we can see you now. I do want to say we see Mitch's face. All right, Lindsey, I'll mute myself. So here you go.
All right, if all else fails, reboot yourself. Those little gremlins are walking around inside that. The other analogy for that real quick is how many elephants can you get to tap dance inside a shoebox? That's what's happening inside your computer, basically. Hey, anyway, okay, well, let's see. How many do we have here? Alban. Where's Alban from? Eric Jensen, I know.
You have 14 people here.
Okay, and the last Yuri, how do you pronounce his first name? You could unmute yourself.
Alban is from France.
Alban from France, and the last person, is it Thierry? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Thierry.
And he's from France too, isn't he?
He might be from Canada, Quebec.
Okay. He's from France also.
Oh, okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, hey, well, anyway, for those that don't know me, we live in a small town on the west coast of the United States in a little town called Lincoln City. And my wife, Rhonda Brewer, who's on the call here, we've lived here 41 years now and got involved in kiting from the first time we got here because Kite Festival was happening in that first short little bit that we were here in the spring. And then Rhonda got involved in with Catch the Wind Kites in the mid-'80s. And so we've been at kiting a long time. Professionally, I'm a kite maker by trade. Sorry, should I look into my camera? I was going to put a smiley face up there. So I was going to put a smiley face there with an arrow pointing, you know, me. Anyway, so professionally, I'm a kite maker by trade.
Hey, Lindsey. real quick. You might have to shut off your other camera because your mic is a little splotchy right now.
Mm-hmm.
My mic
It's-
is splotchy.
Yeah, your mic is cutting in and out.
Okay, let me do this then. I'll go into settings and I'll switch over to my laptop camera, and that you'll see probably my.
Or you're using the wrong mic, because when you tilt your head away, we lose the mic.
Hang on just a second.
Is that mic better?
Much better.
Is that better? Okay, I plugged my earbuds in. Ha! Forgot I had I had unplugged them. Okay, so I don't have to do anything with the camera. Okay, where was I? Focus. Yes, cabinet maker by trade. So with my customers, we live in a resort area, and we have most of the homes that I worked on were second and third homes from people across the country, and so I've been working collaboratively at a distance with my customers for a long time. So this is real second nature to me, but to a lot of people, it's really foreign. So on the call, or on our meeting today, we have Scott Hampton and Ron Gibeon and Nick. All three of them, we've been quite, have had some professional, intimate relations. And
I'm glad you clarified that.
yes.
I love you, but
I mean, not that much. Yeah. Anyway, but they've all been to Ron and my home and kite festivals, and Scott's from Utah, Ronnie's from Central California, and so we're hundreds of miles away, but we chat a lot. And Nick again is up north in the colder regions and the wetter regions of the country. But anyway, so we've been able to work remotely and create a bunch of cool projects, and I've helped facilitate them, and I'm also known as their enabler. So Ronnie sends me pictures and chunks of wood, and I'll get into that later. And Scott sends me sketches, and every once in a while, to explain it, he sends me a fitting. He says, "Oh, can you make me something like this?" And then Nick, I give scraps to, and she creates this great little piece that I'll show you, and comes up with this concept, and then we go back and forth at a distance, and don't meet up with the final production product or produced product until the night of the kite festival, night before the kite festival, and everything comes together. So all I'm trying to do with this today is just show you how easy it is with the tools we have at hand. One of them being Google Meet. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, this is how simple it is. You've got a Google account. You create a Google Meet, and you can work with anybody around the world. I've worked with Felix Motron. Is it Motrom? Is that in the UK on some fittings? Motrom. Thank you. And then with Doug Stout, he's in back east in New Jersey, and to provide them with 3D printed parts for their kites projects and stuff, and replacement parts. But that's a totally different story. I mean, that's a different workshop, is the 3D printing. I don't even have a printer here, so you're not going to get to see any of those. Those are still up at the college, where we've been printing face shields for the last 6 months, and our Rhonda's just doing the last little bit of cleanup today. Anyway, so my philosophy with I don't know whether I want to go into anything about how I approach projects or something, but pretty much when I'm developing something for Ron or Scott or anybody else, you know, I want to make it a robust piece, and I'm not afraid to break things. And Sport Kite Flyers were alluding to that the other day in one of the workshops, is that, you know, you got to find the breaking point of your kite. And if you just, you know, if you break a spar, you break a spar, but at least you know where you're going with it. So, and then I'm just reading from some scribbled notes, by the way. I didn't get through to edit them much, but my philosophy is that I'm open knowledge. There's all this all this open source that's out there where people are feeling that everything now should be free. That you just, you know, if I create a fitting, you know, that can you just send me that fitting? And it's like, well, no. Because, you know, I can give you the knowledge, I can show you how to design it, you know, and we can share it, you know, collaboratively that way. But, you know, there's a lot of hard work in it. And so I could be wrong on all that, but I don't feel I am. Anyway, so, but I'm really open knowledge. I mean, I'll teach you how to do anything. It's kind of like, you know, teach you how to fish and you'll eat. God, where'd that come from? Anyway, so,
That's what I do.
Also,
teach people how to fish.
Yeah, and yeah, right. But one thing,
Hey, Lindsey,
yes,
real quick. Spence has a 3D printer up, and that's a really good segue right there of the whole you teaching versus you working with versus giving information away. So if you want to, I'll pin Spence's screen so we can look at it.
Okay. This is perfect. Yeah, because Spence and I just this last week worked on a project together, not worked on together. He posted on Facebook a picture of his, it was a bracket to hold fabric, a single roll of fabric. And he said that it was taking him 2.5 hours to print one of these little brackets. And I messaged him. I didn't go after him on Facebook out in the public. I went ahead and messaged him and said, we need to talk. And so he sent me a file. And what I'm going to do here real quick is, because I've got pictures. So are you sharing his printer right now? Why don't you go ahead and do that, and I'll find my photos that I've got sitting here. Come on.
So here's what I'm printing right now is I'm printing some pegboard hooks. I have a pegboard over there, and so I'm, instead of running to the store and getting some hooks, I'll just print them myself. So there's the printer running. I'm printing 5 hooks at the moment. So it has a big spool of filament up there, pulls it down, and then comes through these tubes and then down to the printer. And yep. Yeah.
That's the way it works. But what we did is that I've got a little album here with pictures that I'll share in just a moment. There it is.
Spence, can you hear me, Spence? Are the hooks one hook, one roll, or do you print out a thing that'll hold 3 rolls at a time? The rolls on the wall behind, the hooks on the wall behind you, they're holding, is it one hook, one roll, or is it a line of hooks?
So I do 2 hooks per roll, basically.
Right.
So this top one here are the newer ones that I got from Lindsey, and then these are some of the existing ones. Depending on how thick the roll is, I can throw multiple things. Like down here, I have like kind of stacked up some Mylar and some like other things that I have small amounts of. I can fit several things onto a single set of hooks if I want, or if I really wanted, I can make the hooks bigger. You know, so yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so what happened is that once I let me open this up. I'm sharing my Fusion 360 Okay, so everybody see this guy?
Yes, worked great.
Okay, so that is a, that's the wrong one. So I go into fittings and open up Waddy's folder here and wall hook. Okay, so what Waddy sent me was come on. Sorry, things are a little slow. Anyway, this is Waddy's model that he designed in a program, CAD program called Tinkercad, and he told me that it took him 2.5 hours to print this little hook, and I thought, oh well, we need to talk. So I messaged him, and he sent me his files, this model, this 3D model. And almost, I don't know what it was pretty immediate that people that I know Andrew Beatty had commented that that this contact area here was too small, too thin, and it would dent the fabric and cause a little pucker issue. And that was my immediate thought too, that it should be flat. Also, I knew immediately that he was printing using what we call supports, because this guy, let me see if I can arrange it, would sit like this on the printer. Well, in 3D printing, we can't we can't print in air. We have to have some support. So he had to put this little scaffolding between the bed. Right along this edge would be sitting on a plate, and then he had to put little legs underneath it. And that just takes a lot of time, and it's a waste of material. And it's like, well, why not just put that material, if you're going to print it, put it into the part itself. So I ended up just modeling a new one for him. And this took me, I don't know, it was about 15 minutes to design and print this, and create this. Well, what's great about in the collaborative sense is that I sent him this file, but I've never I've sent people files before, but a lot of times people just because you have a printer doesn't mean that you can print. It's hard. You've got to have your settings right and to get a successful print. And so my thoughts were that I was going to send him a file that he could load right into his printer and print it, and let's see how it worked. And that's how the next step in this collaboration will go, is that this is called, what do we call that? Distributed manufacturing. So where instead of sending you the parts, I'm just going to send you the file. If you know how to run your 3D printer properly, then, you can print your own part. And that's what Waddy did. I sent him that file, which now only takes about an hour, doesn't it, Waddy?
Yeah, it was like an hour, 10 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. And not sure, it probably uses a little bit more material, but it's stronger, and then you got a flatter surface on it. And
how
then
many
also,
can you print at a time? How many can you print on your bed at any one time?
I used to be able to get half a dozen on your bed, weren't you?
Probably. Yeah, I was only printing one at a time at the time, just because. But yeah, if I wanted to print a bunch, I could probably set it overnight and, have probably 6 of them in the morning.
Yeah. Yep. And so that was a success for me, because the printer that Waddy has is a Ender 3 from Creality, and it's a Chinese printer. A lot of people have them. I don't own one. The printers I have are from Prague, from the Czech Republic, that I've been buying since 2015. And so right now we have 6 that are running that we had when we were producing the face shields for the local community here, for hospitals and then for the school district and other and for the county, they purchased them for us. And so with those 6 printers, we were able to produce over 4,000 face shields. And Rhonda was she was the farmer. She was harvesting the printers and running them, and so that was quite an experience. So anyway, so that's one of the most current collaborations I've had, and it's just great because the kite fittings that I designed for Ron and Scott and other people, probably not everybody is going to be able to print them because of the materials that I print them out of. And some of the printers aren't even capable of printing the materials right at the moment. I'm not saying that you can't do it. It's just that it's more difficult. But it's going to progress as we go along. So that's that was that little collaborative project with Waddy. But the others that I have with Ron, we're going to go to the Humble Bumble, and let me get back to my pictures. Let's see, where are you at, Ron? Humble Bumble, Humble Bumble.
I'm right here watching you, babe.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find the photo album. There we go. Okay, so now let me go back and share that. I'm running 2 monitors here, so I'm trying to jockey back and forth. And,
Rhonda says there's one right behind you on the window.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. Photos. Yeah. Who needs any photos?
There, no, that's much better right there.
Okay. So there's our photo album of the Humble Bumble. All right. So what Ron had come up with this kite, and it's right behind me there, the Humble Bumble. And what he wanted, it started out, all he wanted was the parts for the Hummer bit here. Okay, so there's a ribbon and other fittings, and that was what we concentrated on originally, were just the fittings and parts and pieces.
But you created much more than that. You created the file for the print for the workshops.
Right, exactly. And then he was putting this together for the workshop in what was it for? It wasn't Keystone. It was Maryland Kite Society. Yeah, and he wanted it. It's an involved project, so he wanted to have this printed, the fabric printed, and so I helped him produce the files that we sent to Ken Conrad for him to print with in the sublimation printing. So what I did back to the fittings is that Ron sent me, I'm trying to remember whether you sent me some sketches, and you did. I'm trying to find the sketches. Hang on here. I know. Ron's going to be humiliated here.
Not at all. No, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
We have an explanation for that.
Yeah. I can't find the fitting at the the drawing at the moment, but what we do have is this block of wood, if you can all see this little chunk of wood, and that was
your screen.
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah. Unpin your screen, Lindsay.
Oh. You mean stop the presentation? There. Is that better?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. So there's the little block of wood that Ron sent me. And so it's got a hole. Hey, it works. It gave me the starting point. And And so it has the hole for the longeron, and it has 2 holes here, and those are for these bowed bits that go up to the corners of the kite and down into the little yako wings. And then it has one more little hole going across that goes to the other part of the yako wings. And so then I got busy in Fusion 360 and designing and the parts, and I'll share that with you in a moment. But then, and he sent me this card, and on this card was a fitting that I had printed before. It's a flexible dihedral, and he had a bunch of those, and those ended up being used in the nose and tail of the Canara kite. And then he sent me, and then so he had all the parts and pieces. This little block of wood was stuck down here, you know, and he gave me all little parts, little spars, all the sizes of rods that he was going to use of carbon and stuff, and a piece of the flat stock for the Hummer, for the bar. And so that's what I got, and this is what he got back. If you can see this, is all these, you know, fittings here. So there's his. I wish I could zoom in. I can't. I don't know how, if this camera, if I can zoom in. I don't want to touch anything because I'll break it. But that's his block of wood right there, is what I ended up with. And so this is this piece right here is the long part, the long part that curves. This is the one that curves for the Yako wings. So all that is for storing it in there. It snaps in, and then it snaps across, and then that curves there. And then these are the other 2 that go up and down, and then you've got the spine or the longeron fitting there. And I'm going to open this up in Fusion 360 in a moment and share it with you, because it's a lot of fun. You'll see all the parts, because I can't really show you easily on this. But this bar here is carbon fiber, and that's the actually here.
It's absolute genius, guys. I got to tell you, it's brilliance, absolute brilliance.
Well, you know, and this isn't, you know, exactly what this is. Well, it is. That's what this workshop's about, is not just the design part, but the design and the, so we can see the back of the kite. So this is the assembly here, and all these snap onto the framing. So for storage, because this is a big kite. I mean, these are long parts, and a lot of people don't like, you know, I try to break things down as much as possible. So this is, well, the bridle lines are wrapped around, but anyway, but this breaks down, and then I think you disconnect it or something. I can't remember. I haven't packed one of these up in a long time, but yes. And then it rotates, and then you can roll it up. But he wanted things to snap on and off.
All the sticks stay in the kite except the cross one.
Yeah.
Everything folds down into the middle, so you take nothing out of the kite at all.
Right.
Except the outside, except the perimeter rods.
Yeah, but we were able to, you know, I was able to come up with these fittings that just snap onto the framing, and these are all out of carbon fiber nylon, so they're really, really tough and hold up. I mean, we haven't had any failures of those that I can recall. And then the Hummer, for tensioning the Hummer, is a barrel with a screw and a pressure plate. And so you loosen the screw, and then you can adjust the tension on that. And then all those parts are all printed. But hang on here. I'm tethered to my computer. There.
You know, that little block of wood doesn't look as primitive as I remembered it.
No, I mean, it's sanded. It actually has, you know, put a little lacquer on it and you'd be good to go. Yeah. Anyway, let me let me share this window with you. Tab. And then I'll go into Fusion 360 also. Okay, so this is where we were at. Let me see if I can. So this is, everybody see that picture?
That's one I made. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, this is, yeah. Yes. That, yeah, because Ron had made this fitting out of Delrin and drilled and tapped and cut a kind of a horizontal hole in here. So he already had this concept of how he wanted it to work. Actually, that was on a round rod. You didn't have it on a flat stock yet. And we decided to put it on, use a flat bar.
That may be one of
instead.
Yours. That may be one of yours.
Yeah, so it rotated. It might be. Anyway, no, that was yours, because then you had this clip because you wanted it the crossbar to snap on.
That was my test run.
Right, and you took 2 C clips and glued them together, and just for proof of concept. And then this was his photograph of one of the first ones, and he sent me to show me what it was going to look like. And he went out and it flew and it worked, and the Hummer worked and everything else. But he wanted parts for this workshop, and that's where I came in to the part of the collaboration. Then after we got the parts worked on, then we worked on the fabric part of it.
Yeah, because up until then, and we still do, the ones that we make now are applique. They're not printed, only for the workshop.
Right. And let me stop sharing this one for the moment and get back into my Fusion 360. Window, that one. God, I'm finally getting my legs on underneath me here, so I know what I'm doing. Kind of.
You're doing great. No worries.
Let's see. Gibeon. You might be in kites. Sometimes I put things in. I try not to put them in too obscure of places. Uh-oh.
You had it.
Where are you?
you had it. You had it.
Okay, come on. There we are. I was looking for it alphabetically. It's chronological. Okay. And let's see.
Gibeon.
Gibeon, yes. Yeah. The Mel Tillis cousin. Sorry.
Can I come home and give you a hand?
There's that soft voice. There's that soft voice from Rhonda.
Yeah. Come on, open up. There. Sorry.
There we go. It has to be said that as much as we love Lindsey and ribbing that we give him, it would be pretty much impossible without Rhonda keeping him focused and fed.
Yeah.
And also reminding us to be focused and fed.
You ought to see it when I'm there with them.
Oh, God, it's nuts.
Love it. I wouldn't trade
okay, here we go.
for anything in the world.
Organized chaos.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Look at that. That's just gorgeous.
All right. So this is in Fusion 360, and these are the parts. So they slide. This guy is your longeron, and it snaps on. And so and then I saved these pictures. Didn't do a screenshot anyway. I exported these and sent them to Ron so he could take a look and see. And the barrel that we used for the Hummer, I had it I had it squared, didn't I, originally, if I remember. But anyway, so Ron looked at it and he says, no, he says, I'd rather have it round and, you know, make it look more like what a traditional one would be. That's what I did there.
I was still stunned when I saw these graphics. You know, I would bang my head against the wall for a whole day trying to get into reality because I could not believe how beautiful these fittings really were, you know, in any shape. So, testament to your work,
you know,
buddy.
and well, thank you. I'm trying to open. See if that one's.
While Lindsey's searching, I will say though that he has been able to build some very tiny, very, very useful yet sculpturally, in my opinion, simply beautiful pieces that fit a need. And it doesn't have to be fancy and complicated. You can cut it down to the basics, and he's done both ends of the spectrum. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and she's 3 miles away from me, so she can say that.
Yeah.
At the moment.
I can turn off my camera so I can make faces. So there.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been in between you two guys, and it's kind of safe, you know, most of the times.
Yeah.
Sitting in your living room.
So okay, so that's one bit of collaboration. Oh, well then, yeah, and then we get to the part where we're printing, and coming up with the colors. And what Ron did is that he sent me up a couple pieces of fabric that he had painted, and let me share that real quick here again.
That's for the blush. For the blush.
Yeah.
The fade and blush. That's what I call that. Fading, fade, blush.
Fading, fade and blush. Mm-hmm. Okay. So here we go. So he sent me that. Now, Scott Hampton will look at it and go, what the heck is that? You know, and which I think is pretty cool. But anyway, but all Ron was doing was showing me basically where his blush or the fades are going to be. And then I went in and I constructed the files in Corel Draw, and because I don't use Illustrator, but not that I can't, but
most of that gets covered in black as well, so you don't see that.
Yeah. And so then we went in and I started working with them on in this guy. And so this is in Corel. And so he sent me a template, half template, and then I traced it. It was full size, and I scanned it in and then traced it so that I could create the black image. And then he had sent me up the stuff for the fades, and then I went from there. And what I was doing was getting the shading, trying to reproduce it so that it looked like his painted kites. And then I worked with Ken Conrad, who's up in Seattle, working with is my camera you're not seeing me, are you? There. Okay. Then and then I sent and then Ron sent me a piece of some of the fabric, and then we worked on getting the color right. And so this was a print, and I was using Pantone PMS colors so to find the right color for the fabric. And then I was going to send that off. So I could send that information off to Ken Conrad so that he could, you know, get the accurate colors to print. Anyway, we ended up with that. So that is a sublimation heat transfer printed piece of fabric there. So in the workshop at Maryland Kite Society, all but one person built their kite with this. One person who will be, his name will, he'll remain anonymous, decided that he wanted more saturated black. Well, so he appliqued over the top of it.
Oh, we're talking about.
I was going to leave him anonymous.
But
Ben Huggett. Yeah.
Somebody trying to remain traditional.
Anyway,
that's okay. It was okay. It's all right.
Yeah. But anyway, that's what the students got, was this piece of fabric that was all printed on polyester. And so all they had to do was the sewing and the sticking, which took them 2 days. You know, and they needed to applique the kite also, you know, it would have taken much longer.
If I may interject,
but anyway,
that one,
go ahead.
The saturation of the color once we got the second batch was so incredible that that's what stunned me about appliquing over it. And that's okay, but it was the saturation of the color, the black and all of it was so intense that some of us and some of the folks couldn't tell the difference between the back of the kite or the front. And we just let it go at that. Work with whatever side you want, and you couldn't tell the difference. So Ken did an amazing job for his part once he got, you know, exactly what we needed. There was some blems that came out on the first batch, but once he got it, and he's just as picky as all of us, and he would not really, well, he sent some of the blems to us, so we got to see them, you know, and they weren't that bad.
Yeah.
And
no, not at all.
But the actual ones, my God,
so
as good as I've seen anywhere. So that speaks for the quality of that work, you know. So anyway,
I'm going off camera just for a moment. All right. I'm back. So the next one I want to work on is what Nick and I worked together on. God, how long has it been? 2 years, Nick, or has it been 3? I can't remember. Is she even here? Yeah, she's there.
Yeah, just a sec. I had to turn my camera back on. I think it's been 3, if not 4 years. It's been some time since we created.
Yeah. It's been a bit.
3 or 4. I believe Rhonda.
Yeah, I think
Rhonda's always right.
I think 3. Yeah, it's not 4, but 3.
Lindsey,
4 years ago.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it was 4 years ago because because we went to Seaside Convention. Yep. And it was the month before I had to go into my heart thing too. Yeah, 4 years. Okay. Anyway, so what this was is that in June of 2016, July, we were at Southern Oregon Kite Festival, and or prior to that, it was just a little bit before that, and Nick was down for the Kite Festival here in Lincoln City, and I have this box of scraps, and this is Tyvek, and these are these pendant shaped pieces of Tyvek. Well, these are the top edges of our Rokaku kite kits, our 4-foot Rokakus, and this is all the scrap that's left over, and I have boxes of these. I mean, literally thousands of these pieces here. And so we just gave Nick a stack of them and said, here, go make something. And so she went home and within a short period of time, she sent me some sketches, and I'm going to open up another, let's see, photos, share. And let me get back to my photos on the computer so I can see where I'm going, what I'm doing. And so then she
cute little picture of Rhonda there. You just passed up a really cute picture of Rhonda.
Oh, that one with her face in her hand.
Yep.
And yeah, not
Mitch. Mitch, I just answered your question. Okay, on the text.
I got to get back to the beginning here. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Where's your stuff, Nick? Someplace in here.
I don't know. You're the one in charge. Find it. Yeah, we also send each other random gifts, so don't mind those.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, so we were at the sitting at the banquet Saturday night at the Southern Oregon Kite Festival, and she sketched out this little thing on a paper napkin. It's one of those cliches, where ideas are on paper napkins. Well, it was, and so she sketched out this little wing thing, and then we started going back and forth, and we were just using Facebook Messenger and chatting back and forth, and then every once in a while do a video. And then she sent me pictures of what she thought the fitting would look like to join all the parts together. And so I can't take credit for creating a lot of these fittings. I'm just one of those guys that take the idea and refine it and make it as robust and I try to make it as elegant as possible. And then produce it. And then, she sends, of course, her pictures of being exacerbated at me or something. Anyway, so this is, there we go. So I started printing some different files here. How come I keep jumping around? Somebody running a compressor in the background? No? And then this little video is of my one of the first concepts, and this little guy is just all taped together out of Tyvek. Anyway, so it ended up that we produced a number of these for the convention, 2016 AKA convention. Thank you. And did we win People's Choice with that?
We won accessory or something along those lines.
Kite accessory, yeah. But yeah, she painted a bunch of them. Okay, let me share this again.
Yeah, wait, I painted them, and then Scott Hampton got a hold of them and made some amazing ones.
Well, yeah. But what I'm sharing here is that that we did. This is Nick came down on Friday night before our Lincoln City Kite Festival, and we had a sewing marathon and sewed up a bunch of them. And this was at our festival, so this was the first run for those. Anyway, so they just sit on a stick and dance around. And they're just really cool. But those are the Tyvek ones, and then I've made a bunch of them out of Tyvek, and then they've moved into fabric ones. And let me stop sharing this guy here, because Scott Hampton was at that festival also. Were you there, Scott? No, it was in the fall. It was the next one. And they came out from Utah to our kite festival, and I gave him some of the parts for the Felinas, and he went home, and in Scott Hampton fashion, you know, he couldn't leave it alone, and those are his wings there, and so this will end up having an organza tail that comes out. But this is the fitting that ended up being printed for that. And so it just sits on a stick, and all the spars and stuff, you know, plug into it. Then and so that was one of the first real collaborations with Nick on that, was to create that guy. So we were able to start with some scrap material and end up generating, you know, this completed project just by using online tools and never meeting up until we had all the physical parts all done, and then we put it together. So that was that project. So anybody any questions? I mean, I've got other stuff here. I don't want to just keep blabbing.
Craig Rogerson wants to know how you came up with the name Felina.
Okay. Well, so Nick's Fortuna found Rhonda and our company is Phantom Star Kites. And so I thought, well, let's see what we can come up with for a name. So I don't know, I like how a lot of Italian words. So I went in and looked up in Google Translate what butterfly, because they kind of look like butterflies, what butterfly was in Italian, and it was farla. And that didn't seem to roll off the tongue very, very easily. So then then it had another suggestion. It was for moth, and moth was Felina. So I thought, well, that sounds cool. So we ended up with Fortuna Felina Fantasma, because Fantasma is Italian for phantom, and that's how we came up with Felina.
So now you're loaded with Falenas and Apes. The one behind you is called an ape in Italian. Ape. Bombolino. Bombolino in Italian for bumblebee.
Oh, all right. Cool. So
ape is a bee in Italian.
Any other questions or yeah. I mean, we can get on to Hampton here.
Lindsey, just
yes.
real quick, take this project one step more, or one step further, when we did the fabric, and how you brought in the laser.
Okay.
As part of this project.
All right. So, right. And yeah, so we're kind of getting, blending design and other things into this other than collaboration, but it all kind of blends together. And so for this year's UMake in Oregon, Illinois, we presented the Felina class, and it was a sewing project. So we used what Scott Hampton had come up with, and Scott had graciously allowed us to use his design. So the students had a choice between this one and one that had windows cut out in it, and so to make the class as simple as possible, we pre-cut all the parts. Well, a year ago, this last spring, we bought a laser cutter, and our laser can cut 24 by 36 inches. And I thought, well, what better tool to use for cutting, parts out would be the laser. Well, this is all pretty lacy stuff, and so I came up with a method for printing those, or laser cutting them. And I'm going to reposition my camera here. So let's see. It's going to be upside down, but can you see this? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So just for reference, so here's our piece of Tyvek, and this is the wing for the fabric. But can you see the cuts, the lines here?
Yes.
Okay, so what I did is that we laser cut the wing, but we left a little tab right there. And so that way, you know, you had this piece of fabric that was partially cut, much easier to handle. And what we did is that we had the students tape this to a piece of cardboard that was vertical. And if you watch Scott Hampton's techniques on spray painting, Design Master, then they went in and they sprayed their paint on the wing. Then we came up with, this is the black. Put a piece of paper underneath it here so you can see. So can you see the white lines? So there's the pattern with the tabs. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's working.
Yes.
Great. Anyway, so then what we had them do is that this was taped down to the surface and it was painted. And then we had them on the back side lightly dust this part with spray adhesive. And then while it was still all intact together, just bring it down and register the lines. Somebody's got music playing. There we go. And then we just tacked it down. Then they went ahead and sewed around the inside edge. And then once they were finished sewing around the edges, they came in and, hey, Ron, is this about the size of scissors you use?
He's gone away.
Oh, did he? Anyway, so then it was just a matter of coming in here and snipping the tab. These scissors are really good. Anyway,
I think we get it.
and you snip the tab there, and then they would just flip it over and then back cut on the back side. So it was a real quick way of appliquing. So that was the next generation of the Felina. So
Lindsey?
yeah.
Lindsey?
All right. Yeah, hang on. Who's got the music playing?
Oops, that shouldn't be happening. That's me.
No.
I meant to turn that off as soon as I
Perfect.
turned my mic on.
Okay. Got.
I wanted to ask you about the dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously a right angle triangle. How long, how wide?
Hell, I don't know. It's about TLAR. This guy here, the wing itself you're talking about?
Yeah, the one wing.
Is, yeah, hang on. These have just snagged my. The one wing is roughly, it's about 24 inches long, something like that.
Yeah. I think the original setting in the fitting, we were looking at something like 80 degrees or so between
I don't know.
sticker
Yeah.
and the bottom stick, but we've changed that fitting a few times. So I have no idea what it's at now.
Well, yeah. And once again, I don't pay any attention most of the time to angles, except when I'm working on a dihedral for somebody that they need exact, angles. But this is like 23 inches long, and it's just a matter of trying to get the best yield out of your materials.
Well, no, the reason I was asking was that as you were doing this, I was getting excited and started to draw, but I had no idea about the dimensions.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's 23 by about 9.5 tall at that point.
Okay.
And then this point here is about, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, call it 2 inches back from the, from the tip here.
Well, the art,
about 9.5.
the art area.
Yeah. But
so 23 by 9.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, 23 by 9.5, something like that. Okay.
And then back it off a few degrees because it's scrap instead of a right angle triangle.
Yeah. Or if you really want to know what that is, hang on.
That's not digital.
Dave, while he's doing that, I increased the size of them to like 30-inch by 12-inch. You can change the sizes, whatever you need to. But I made smaller ones and larger ones because I wanted to make a series of them stacked on a pole. And the large one I have right now is like 30 inches long on the wing. The bottom part is about 12 inches.
Okay, so that's like 15. Yeah. Well, yeah. You can make them whatever size kind.
I just need the proportions.
And it's about 15 degrees that this right here is about 15.
So about 75 degrees.
Yeah, 75 actually. That's what it's telling me here. So, yep. All right. But yeah, and if anybody wants to build any of these, I mean, I've got plenty of these fittings, and I know where to get them.
How about a file? Can we get a file instead?
Well, see, that's another thing is that if these I'm printing, I printed them out of PETG, and I don't think never printed them out of PLA plastic because I don't hardly use any PLA, and they'd probably last, but not very long. But I've been printing them out of rigid polyurethane and nylon now because they do. See, somebody else is echoing on me. Yeah.
So I can't remember what my son has in his printer. I think he might be shooting ABS these days. It's got an
ABS. Yeah, ABS would work. But that's another one of those open knowledge things at the moment for me. I'm just trying to still get my head around sharing some of this stuff out because this one's really hard to print because there's no supports and the overhangs and stuff. And it's not that you can't print it. It's just right at the moment, it would be, God, I don't know what I'm trying to say other than not at the moment. Where are we at here? 2 o'clock. We've been at this an hour. What do I got till another hour? You got some more questions or Scott?
Well, you also have Bazzer signing on in just a second. So
okay.
Scott.
So when you're starting this whole thing, do you get together as a group and say, we'll get together on Wednesdays? Or how did you arrange the time between 3 states?
To be honest, Lindsey just pestered the crap out of me while I was at work and sent me video files of the 3D printer going while I'm at work. That
well, yeah, but Nick will abandon work for, you know, at a drop of a hat. Anyway, no, she
Lindsey.
Rhonda has a little Nick has a little flexibility, not flexibility. She does a little bit, but yeah, I mean, she's a multitasker, you know. Before you move on to the next subject matter, you did forget something, you know, with the bees. So Lindsey went much further than what he explained and made some production templates out of this material. What was that you made? What is this stuff? This laminate? What is that's a medium density fiberboard. It's 1/8 inch MDF. So here's the template for cutting out the black, you know, for the purpose of producing this bees in the future. And then there's a master pattern that gets the wings in there and several other small little templates that make life really, really, really easy. And we developed a system on how to work all of this over a piece of glass that's tacked. But it wouldn't be possible without these templates at all. Yeah. So that's what also comes out of this collaboration is that I don't know. I mean, most of you know John Freeman or knew John Freeman, and he was here in Oregon and just a couple hours from us until he moved to Canada. And he'd call me because he was doing either a workshop at the World Kite Museum or at Fort Worden, and he would send me a sketch, and it would be on graph paper and just a outside profile of templates that he wanted made. And so I would do that, you know, and just work off of his sketches. And then he would come down and have Thanksgiving dinner with us and take his templates home. And did that for a number of his kites. And I've done that for Ron. And then, I don't know, Bazer's supposed to be coming on here. And Bazer, before he moved to Australia, he was up in Tacoma, which is another, you know, what, 5.5, 6 hours north of us. And we worked on stuff together.
Hey,
and that's just, you know.
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
hello, Sancho.
Hello.
Hey, hello. Hello.
So, are you talking about templates, Linz?
Yeah. What time is it? About
10 past 7.
5 in the morning?
10 past 7.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Tomorrow. It's a lovely day.
Yeah.
It's a lovely day.
So if we don't have a Lindsey, what would you suggest for making a template? Do we use Bazer's idea of the very thin polystyrene?
It depends on whether you hot cut or, you know, or cold cut. The MDF you can buy, or you can buy some 1/8 inch hardboard, and you can cut it with a jigsaw and sand it. I mean, that works. But you know, if you're going to, you know, it depends on how much detail the template has. The one for the Humble Bumble, I mean, that was, I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to even cut that out by hand myself. Well, I mean, I could, but you know, when you get the machine,
that would be quite doable with polystyrene and a box knife.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And you have to remember that that Ron was going for on this one was producing a lot of them, you know, and cutting out a lot, and so that's the difference. If you know, I mean, he sent me up his poster board templates, and that's what he was working on with originally. And then he was coming up here for a festival, so I went ahead and made him the hard templates, and then he took those back home.
So back like what I was talking about yesterday, the poster board only lasts so long, you know, before you burn all the edges, you know, with the with the cutting tools. So yes.
Hey, actually, Spence, you just had some metal templates made, right?
Yeah, just some little ones. I'll grab them real quick. Hold on. But yeah, there's some sites that you can go to. I went to a website called Send Cut Send, where they were basically able to laser cut something. I just made Illustrator files. So here's like just a whatever 1 inch wide, just when I need to cut little 1 inch wide reinforcements. Here's a 2 inch wide, and it has a hole for T fittings on a quad line kite, so I can hot cut around that. Here's a triangle reinforcement for my indoor kites. Or no, this is for an outdoor one. This is for 1.5. So I do a rhombus and then fold it for a corner, and then similar sort of thing for the indoor ones, but I have a cutoff for reasons. But yeah, so just made the Illustrator files, did it online, and sent in the thing, and a week later they showed up in the mail. So
yeah, and that's kind of what I do. I mean, you know, it's but I don't have metal cutting capability. Well, I kind of do. I mean, I can cut aluminum on my CNC, but there's so many people, you know, fabricators in major cities that have, you know, the large high-powered lasers or water jets, that it's pretty easy to find that now, and the online sources too for having your stuff cut like Waddy had done. How much? What was the cost on some of that on those guys? Do you recall? Did they have a minimum?
I don't remember there being a minimum. Like this, all of these together was like less than, like around ballpark $30 or something, I think.
Right.
Okay. I looked at maybe doing some bigger pieces, and it got a little expensive, a little fast. But yeah, you know, like for like a full like full size kite template, you're looking at like probably a couple $100 or something.
Yeah, and even if you had it cut out of thinner material, because that's what, about 5-6 millimeters, something like that.
Yeah, this is definitely way thicker than I needed.
Yeah. You didn't need to have it that. Yeah, and then the other thing is that stainless steel would be the better material for hot cutting, because stainless steel won't pull the heat out of your knife. Your hot cutter.
Yeah, these are aluminum.
Yeah, aluminum.
And I mean, it's for little pieces. It's so quick for me to cut past it, so I'm not too worried. But yeah.
But if you're not looking for, you know, if you don't need to hot cut stuff, then the digital cutting works, you know, really, really well, like Bazer's doing right now, and so. But but basically the thing with collaborating is that you can, you know, what I'm trying to show is that you know, we have access to people all over the world that we can contact and talk to about these projects. I mean, it doesn't have to be in the workshop situation. I mean, just use Messenger, and like when I call and talk to Bazer, I mean, we use, you know, the phone on Messenger, and even with Ron and Scott Hampton. Scott is great in that he'll text me, you know, like once or twice, and then he's done with texting and he has to call. He just he overloads really quick. I mean, whatever's in his brain anyway is exploding, as we all know. I mean, his wife says, you know, she says, I don't want to know what's going on inside his head. Isn't that right, Scott? Is it?
Yeah, we don't go there.
Is he? No.
We all know.
Anyway, yeah. But anyway, so
I know what happens here. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I only listen to the voices
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sometimes I listen to the voices.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're coming from deep space, Scott.
Right, deep space. Tinfoil hats, you know, or you know. So
yeah.
So have everybody seen pictures of Scott's emu kite?
Oh my God.
Okay, well, if you haven't, Scott, do you have a picture hanging around there of the emu?
I wouldn't know how to do it. That's beyond my capability.
Oh, nothing that you can just hold up in front of the. Well, put the kite together.
I'll see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find it when we chat. But I did want to bring up something that stood out for me in the whole collaboration process, kind of with Lindsey on the Felina stuff, is that being very, oh yeah, there you go. There's a photo.
Yeah, there it is.
Is being very,
get back to that. Hang on to that.
Yeah, is being very open to other folks' input that may or may not be in the original circle, right? So it originally started with Lindsey and I, and then as Lindsey and I are sitting there working, Rhonda made some points and for changing the tail that we had, and it was like, oh my God, we never even thought of that. And it completely changed our perspective on how we were doing the tail. And then it gets in the hands of a handful of other people and they're changing the size. And it's kind of at the base of something I've been saying with a lot of the stuff I do is kind of changing our mentality of owning a certain idea and being so locked down in the ownership of that idea that we don't allow other people to grab onto the idea and run with it. Yes, I know some stuff is very proprietary and it's your personal builds and it's your artwork, so it's very important. But if you open yourself up to being like, hey, you know what? I lit the flame and we're going to see where this goes. It's amazing watching what's happening just through simple collaboration. So that's been my big takeaway with all this. That and that there's so much technology at our fingertips. It makes this damn near impossible not to do.
I recently asked Mr. Gibeon what he thought of my turtle or tortoise. I don't think he would see it. And so I've moved the legs around because of his suggestions and asked other people, and they said, yeah, we like the legs back the way they are now. So
same thing with your fins. That looks really good, Mr. Butler. Bring him in even a little bit more. Well, actually not. No. That'll help you in flight. That'll help you in flight. That looks great. Looks great.
Thank you. I like the Celtic knotwork of the turtle on the turtle.
Hold it up, Dave. I didn't get to see it.
Huh?
Back up a little bit from the camera. There you go.
Now, what size is this going to be?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It'll probably be a small one first, but then it could be a large one.
Oh, just go big.
Sure.
Go big or go home. I see her talking.
No, just make it spectacular.
It's going to be
I've got
beautiful.
too many designs that I need to make big that I'm now seeing what Lindsey can do for me. So, like the Ice Queen crown.
Oh, that kind of makes me think of the emu. Only a lot less spars.
Yeah. Emu only has 56 spars.
Oh my God, I'm going to hide.
7, 8, 9.
I made him do this.
12, 13. Only 13 here.
Yeah.
Scott, I'm still apologizing to you for putting you through that. How many sticks?
56.
You said 56?
Oh. I never said it was going to be easy,
spars
remember?
For the hair, yeah.
I never said it was going to be easy, remember?
It all worked out. Yeah, once Lindsey printed the parts for me, it all went together.
Yep.
Okay, I've got your of the bat from a video down in so are you sharing, Scott? There we go. Okay.
Yeah, I could share just a photo that might show the back a little.
A tree. Remember, I kept talking about make it look like a tree.
How's that?
There. That's it.
That's a few.
All right. So
I don't see it.
This is a video. Everybody see it?
Yep.
Yeah, we can see it.
There. How's that? So these, that fitting, and that fitting, and there's one other one in here.
Yeah, that one down there. Yep.
So
down there.
Yeah. But this fitting right here, that is fashioned after a Trilby fitting. And Scott sent me a Trilby fitting. And if you're not familiar with a Trilby, that's a dual line sport kite or dual line stunt kite that was popular in the 80s and early 90s. And it was a snap fitting. I'm gonna stop sharing this at the moment so I can get to the camera. And so he sent me a fitting and then sent me the sketch and said, I want something like that with that size of a rod. And there's a picture of the Trilby fitting. And so that's what I got from Scott to start with. And then he also needed a fitting that went up the center that the longeron went through. And then it had two that were stopped. And that was for the ones that bow out. And so this is what, so now we have a Trilby fitting all done, and it snaps on. And then we have that guy there is the fitting with the 3 holes. I don't know whether you can see him or not. And then the one hole in the bottom.
Almost looks like the Canara fittings you made for me
for
that particular workshop.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But anyway, so, and these were all 3D printed, but that just was generated just from conversations and a few sketches.
Hey,
and yeah.
I just thought of something that I think is helpful for everyone. I mean, I know a handful of us are joking that we have a Lindsey. And some folks might not know you personally enough to make that connection. Mm-hmm. First of all, reach out to him and you're going to get your ear chewed off, and Lindsey loves you and you'll regret becoming friends with him. I love him dearly, but another place to look that might be in a somewhat closer community would be maker spaces. So, you know, Lindsey started this conversation that he's a cabinet maker. And yes, he's got to focus on kites, but most of his expertise in CNCs and lasers and 3D printers and all that, that's not necessarily coming from the kite space. And so if you go to maker spaces, or you find, you know, folks around you with like things like a Glowforge or active 3D printer communities, make connections with them and see how you can collaborate. You're going to get a lot of the same response. You're going to get people that are like, hey, you know what does that spar need to be bowed a very certain way? And you can explain it to them, and they might show you a slightly different way to do the fitting that would be more productive for what you're looking at. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that a lot of us have maker spaces near us that we can potentially make connections with.
Absolutely. And you have to remember too that a lot of people have their own 3D printers now too. I mean, Spence has his, Mitch, his son has his printer in his bedroom, next to the bedroom we stayed in, you know, so there he has his 3D printer. God, who else has a 3D printer that's on here? Well, Trevor down in Australia.
Trevor Reeves.
Trevor Reeves. Yeah. He's just been printing a lot of stuff for his kites. So there's people around that are kite makers that are 3D printing.
In your neck of the woods, what's his name? Makes beautiful kites. Grand Champion. I just went blank on his name, for God's sakes. Fairly new kite maker from your area.
Oh, Chris
Candy
Hansen.
Bar.
Yeah, Chris Hansen. And
Chris Hansen, that's it.
So there's a lot of people out there, and you know, and so I haven't collaborated with a whole lot of people. There's been a number, and it's just because I've got they come to me because I've got a good understanding of kites and the dynamics and what properties they need. But this is just to show you what's available and what systems are in place for you to use, so that you can contact people and work out at a distance. So anybody else have anything that they want to chat about? Bazer's sitting back there sewing, I see.
Rhonda's reminding you of the Scott Skinner collaborations.
Oh my God, yeah.
Right, and the reason I set that up is sometimes it's not that brand new parts are being created. It's that parts are no longer available that would wind up causing beautiful kites to remain in closets or in bags because a part is broken and there's no way to replace it. So this was a collaboration with Scott Skinner, and of course Lindsey added his tweak to it. But I think the other thing that Lindsey does is that when he creates a part, it's not just beautiful, it's functional, and he tests them to the point where they break. So he knows how they will survive in a strong wind. It's not just send it out and not play with it. And I think he'll probably talk about that a little bit with what he's getting out right now. Because the different materials that you can make these parts out of, some of them are very brittle. They'll be strong, but if they get a heavy shock, they'll break. And you don't want that, that's for sure. And we ran into that in 3D printing the headbands for the face shields that we just are still manufacturing, but are at the tail end of finishing up on. But we had some beautiful parts that came out, but I dropped one on the floor and it broke because it hadn't been. There was something wrong in the program, and it didn't print properly. So anyway, Lindsey's back.
No, it's just you.
Oh.
It was just you. that I can say that because she's 3 miles away. So anyway.
You're safe. You're safe where you're at.
You know better than that by now. The reach is long. I'm not safe here. Love you, Ruth.
Anyway, okay, fine. No. Anyway, so there's a tetrahedral kite that's been out.
Lindsey, plug your mic back in.
What? Oh. There. The tetrahedral, sorry, thank you. The tetrahedral kites with an internal fitting that have been around since, when did, what's his name? Ronnie, help me out. Trip? Is that, no, not Trip. Crap.
Oh, Till Crap. Don't misunderstand that last name. It's spelled K-R-A-P-P. Okay.
Right.
I don't even know if Till is still alive. It's German.
I met
him in Fano many years ago for the first time.
Yeah. Right. But anyway, he designed this fitting, and these were injection molded, and it's for the internal fitting for the Tetra, and so these are arrow shafts, 8mm arrow shafts, and they plug in to this fitting. Well, these were injection molded out of ABS, and they're now failing. everybody that has this fitting in their kites, they're breaking down and failing, and that's what's happening in a lot of these older kites, is that the dihedrals or the plastic that was used are brittle and failing, and you can't get them anymore. And this fitting here is really a complex fitting if you wanted to make a die, an injection mold die, because there's so many undercuts and stuff in it. That die alone would probably cost you upwards to $15,000 to have a die made for this, the injection mold that. And so Scott Skinner asked me if I could read. No, I'm still here.
No, he's still here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yep, I'm here. Are you there, Ronnie?
Yes. Anyway, those fittings go way back. I saw them for the first time in 1992 in Peter Milinski's Tetris, who's no longer with us. So there's quite a bit of history, and they were quite exclusive, and only very few people were get a hold of them. And Scott Skinner, I remember, had to make some serious kite trades and other little deals to get a hold of some of those. It was very difficult back then. Yeah.
So once again, Felix Mottram in England has Peter Milinski's set of Tetras, and so his parts are breaking, and so I made a replacement part out of carbon fiber nylon that has a knob on it instead of these fittings here, and I'll show you some pictures of that. But the tip of the sail hooks onto these posts, and but anyway, what Rhonda was alluding to is that not all these parts that I've been making or collaborating with on people are brand new parts. We are working on replacement parts too. And and then then some people want. Hang on, let me leave just for a second. I'll be right back.
For those of you who never heard of the name Peter Milinski, he was an amazing artist, kite maker from Germany, and passed away, I think, in '93. I met him for the first time in Junction Kite Retreat. And then we met again in Fano in 1992 for the first time. He's definitely, along with Jürgen Müller-Hansen, which Felix Mottram from the Decorators has all of the collection of Jürgen Müller-Hansen. I'm sure you guys have been seeing that online quite a bit. And I'm hoping to see the Peter Milinski Tetris come online too, so you guys can see the incredible work this man did.
Yeah, they were. He had those posted last week, I think. Felix did the Tetra he had out flying. So, yeah, and then Scott Hampton got a hold of me and he says, "You know those little seat stopper clips?" And I said, "Yeah, that snap on. They only make them down to 3 millimeter." And he says, "And I need some for 2 millimeter and 2.5 millimeter." And so this is what. You have to be careful because they'll fly across the room if you're not too careful. But anyway, so I made little guys here, and these are 3D printed also. So that's just another bit of collaboration. Scott asked, I deliver. Sometimes I even charge people for them.
I have a nice little collection that you send me of all the sizes, also little samples. They're great.
Yeah. You need tweezers on some of these little guys.
Because sometimes it does take a little while to get things sent.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm the same way. It'll get there, but it may take a while. Often.
So, any thoughts of what we've been talking about? I know I see a lot of muted microphones.
Hey, Linz, did you touch on jigs and stuff?
What's that? Making
jigs and all that kind of malarkey.
Oh, yeah, jigs and fixtures. That's the other thing is designing and building fixtures, stuff to hold things in place. God, I hadn't even thought about presenting that. What do I have?
I was going to show you some of the things that maybe that made me over the years. And we sit down and we have a problem, so we solve it. And the thing, as you all know, if you want to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, you can usually get 5-10 times just doing it freehand and all rough. But when you're in the 20s, 30s, hundreds, thousands, you've got to have something there that makes it 100% every time. So we come up with a few things. Back in the day when all quads had mesh leading edges and stuff like that, and if you treat the material right, you still can use that. It's usually laziness that makes them break. We came up with this here. This is a huge, great sheet of HDPE cut in slots. So
I remember that.
Remember that, baby? Good one, huh? Still used to this day.
Yeah.
And you just 4 or 5 layers of mesh folded up. So you're going through 1/4 inch of mesh. Laid on top of that was remember we had to put all those little spaces in it, Lindsay, to stop it all moving around and
Brilliant.
But something like that. I cut 48 to 72 leading edges in one cutting session of just a few minutes. Now you can go for hours and cut a single strip of whatever size you're cutting, and you'll do it again and again and again. But I've got a pile just hanging there ready for use, and it took me probably no more than 20 minutes. So things like that. What was the other thing we did, Lindsay, with the same on that same cut day? Was it the tape guides?
I was going to say, you gave me one of the tape guides, and I use it all the time.
There we go.
Yeah. And I don't do production level kites, but putting double stick tape across
workshops, Nick. That's what we were talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So HDPE is fantastic for taking double-sided tape on and off. So if you're always going to be using a certain size tab of tape, something like this, this is still for doing leading edge end caps, all invisible hem and seams and everything. All the tape sizes I use. Oh, hello. Where have I gone? There we go. All the tape sizes I use are those. And it goes down for a lot of the other production. So I use this all the time. So you lay your tape across, front and back, and then trim it down the edges, run a blade down the middle, and you've got a little pick point on every single one. Now just think how many times you can take a roll of tape and just put it out and then cut it and then put down the scissors again. You're just compounding time and time and time. Something like this can save you 20–30% of your time if you're doing a lot of it. So what else do we do? God, I've got so many bits of Lindsay-esque around.
So
flames.
Oh God, the flames.
Flames, remember that?
Forgot about those.
Which one kept breaking? I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, the way you lay out fabric.
I just want to let people know that I just want to let everybody know that those don't get shipped to Australia. Those went in a container.
They did. They did.
But so the plastic he was using, but the plastic the white plastic is high density polyethylene.
It's really good
HDPE. So it's milk jugs, in thicker state. But you can buy Tap Plastics and many other plastic supply houses sell the HDPE, so you can buy it and man, it cuts like butter. It's really easy to cut, but you can make some templates and jigs out of and fixtures out of HDPE to help in your producing a kites, you know, just to make repetitive tasks so much easier.
And an 8x4 sheet of HDPE is way cheaper than going to a craft store to buy a cutting mat. So if you do have a work table which is 8 feet by 15 feet long or whatever you've got, you can cover it in HDPE fairly inexpensively and cut wherever you like. It's really good stuff. Okay, so it doesn't have the fancy Joanne fabric grid on it and all that kind of stuff, but if you've got a marker pen, sort that out yourself.
It works good.
So you're running a wheel cutter, Bazzer, through those slots?
Never. No, I'm always have been a single-sided razor blade boy.
Okay.
Yeah, and not even in a handle. I've made more mistakes and made more injuries to myself using those damn cut-off wheels. And as soon as they're buckled, they're trash.
I have to.
They're just not my. I'm too clumsy for them.
They're dangerous. I agree.
Luckily, over there you have the Harbor Freights and stuff, so you can just pick up a box of 100 for practically nothing. Over here, they're $9 for 100.
What?
Yeah. So I solved it. I used my sharpening stone.
Yeah.
You know.
I've been using breakaway blade type of knives. Like I think I showed one yesterday. You know, they stay sharp a little bit longer than a there. You should see my trash can. Oh. It's loaded with those.
And Sam toys. Razor blades and Sam toys. Where can you go?
Of course.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you for that photo yesterday. That made my day, bud.
Oh, you're right, mate. We had a good day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One year I caught shit at Fort Worden for using a single-edged razor blade on somebody's cutting mat, and apparently it's just a thing. You can only use circular blades on those mats. It's like,
what?
No.
Was there a herd license
John
going
Freeman?
Because there's a whole lot of BS in that one.
Whose mat was that?
John
was it your
Freeman.
mat? If it was,
it was John Freeman's
you
mat.
want.
It was John Freeman's mat, and there was some.
I was just going to mention that because John Freeman would go ballistic if you were using a straight knife on his cutting mats. And the reason he'd go ballistic is that it wasn't because somebody was using a straight knife, a snap blade or something else, is that they were using a dull one. And because you had to push really hard, you know, and that's the thing, sharp tools. You have to have sharp tools.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think that sharp tools are going to hurt you. And it's like, no, the dull tools are still sharp, but you can't guide them precisely, and you'll get cut with a dull tool faster than you will with a sharp tool.
Well, it's like sewing machine needles. People will just, like, sewing machine needles are apparently made out of gold, and you have to keep on using it. No, throw it away. Just throw it away. Buy about 100 if you want, because they become really cheap, but just stop treating them like
The sound that they make when they're dull on ripstop helps me to go to sleep at night. So I run the machine to go to sleep. So all I hear is that tick, 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 tick. That's what I use those dull ones for.
Well, yeah, you know, and yeah. Oh, Deb Cooley would at workshops would go out of her mind when she'd hear that ticking. She'd yell across the room, "Will you put in a goddamn new needle?" I mean, just shout across the room.
I heard that before from her. I remember that.
Hey, it's the same here, Ronnie, but it sounds like not pop.
You guys.
You wait the kid needles, so don't do it.
Tape is cheap. Use it.
So how are we doing? Where's the boss lady? The
who?
She's cracking the whip.
Who?
Oh, our Fortuna.
She's hiding.
So Bazzer,
she's off.
When you're doing a project with these guys, how do you handle the time zone?
The time zone. It's easy. They're used to, so I'll get up early.
Yeah, he's going.
You need to get up earlier than
he's usually going to. Yeah, he's going to the gym at about what 5:36 in the morning.
5, 6 in the
and
morning.
It's and it's what here 10 is about noon here, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So we start talking then.
It's not too bad.
And then I have to remember I
Not
still
too
got to go to
bad.
the gym.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You got to suck it up. I get calls from my brother sometimes at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's in South America and forgets the time difference, you know. So, it is what it is.
But he's, how many time zones is he away? It's only what, maybe 5?
5 hours.
Is it Argentina?
He's in Chile.
Right.
Chile, no.
Speaking of Chile, speaking of Chile,
16, I don't know, 16 in the future, something like that.
Here's Lindsey. Here's your next. Here's our next collaborative project here. This is the Copihue that I should have left with you when I was there last. Can you see that?
Ah, that one. Yep.
So this is the Chilean. This is the Chilean national flower, and we're going to probably print maybe 40 or 50 of them. They're going to end up in Cervia. They're going to end up in Chile for a festival in September next year, if we can, for the 18th of September, celebrating Independence Day.
Pull it back a little.
So there we go. So we're gonna have lots and lots of these with Chilean flags. These are bright red with the green leaves. I think I showed you guys yesterday a 12-foot one or 10-foot one, 4 meters, I guess, 3.5 meters on 12 feet. Bazar.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, good size.
Yeah. So that's the big one. These guys will be maybe 6-footers, nothing huge, small, but tons of them, so we can hand them to people and to kids and get them all in the sky all at once.
Just big and docile.
It'll be a spectacle. It'll be a spectacle.
Cool.
So we need a file on this one to see what happens.
Yep. Yeah, so the process there is that Ronnie will send that to me and then I'll scan it in, or Ron can scan it in, and take it. If you don't have a scanner, you can take it to Staples and scan it. And the nice thing about scanners is that, no, I'm just saying, that if you don't have a scanner, if people don't have scanners, you can scan it in and send it to somebody that can create the vector art that's needed. And but what I'm going to end up doing with Ron is we put in, we break it down and set it up with all the borders and seam allowances and all that also, and engineer the kite. So it's a easy, complete project. So
I haven't figured out the frame completely on this one, so I'm going to work all that out before I send this one. I may have to make some modifications, obviously, on this drawing. We don't want to send something to the print, without knowing exactly where we're going with that,
Yeah. And it's like, Scott Hampton's methodology is that, he uses that ugly purple fabric for making your prototypes. So you make a prototype of every kite that you make, just about, don't you? I mean, anything new.
I do now. Yeah. Because it's all figure kites.
Right.
And so I have to have a prototype because I'll put 4 different bridles on it and I'll burn holes all over it and change spars and change pockets till I get it to fly right. Hey, Ron, I did find something.
Rhonda wants to know if there's going to be more wood blocks.
This is your applique scissors. And I filed the tip down.
Yeah.
The tips are pre-filed down. There you go.
Yeah.
Applique scissors.
Really?
I'll put a little paint on for you. New.
Looks more like garden shears to me.
You just mean. And then here, super round. Yeah, there you go.
We are not getting into this game. I got this. No, I'm not going there.
Don't go there.
I'm not opening up the scissor safe. It's not happening.
Oh, is it Jill that's hanging out there lurking in the corner? Jill Bloom?
Is she?
Jill.
I see her.
I saw John's name come up earlier.
No, that's because I'm using his Gmail account.
Yeah. See, I did that too. I thought it was John yesterday, not realizing it was you. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Hey, so did you have your workshop already, Jill? Or?
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, it was
fabulous.
6 hours ago. I'm going to bed in a minute.
It was
absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm sorry I missed it. So.
I was sleeping. Tough.
I did mention the scissor debate in it, though.
All right.
I think we should just have a whole thing on scissors.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Get the manufacturers in.
Yeah. How to turn that piece of shit pair of scissors into something useful.
Well, I haven't quite got to the Von Bohart thing. We're having it around your neck yet, though. I'm not quite that sick. I mean, old.
No. Sandy sometimes
wearing an apron.
Sometimes Sandy has to hang a pork chop around my neck sometimes so the dog will play with me, but I don't know about the scissors.
My dad always said to me, you know when you're getting old when you put on an apron.
Got to have a few laughs.
Yeah. I've got 3 of them. One's been cutting out. So I must be really old.
Now you come back to your youth then, haven't you? You've gone through it.
I have. Yeah. Maybe I should make the same ones as Sam. That would be hilarious. A little train on them.
Turn my mic off.
Well, somehow I lost control. No.
You let me in a room.
Yeah.
It was only you had control.
Yeah. No, this is great. Love all the chatter. So, do we have anything else to cover here? I'm getting some echo in my.
Should be okay now, Lindsay.
Is it better?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, good. All right. So what do you think, Spence?
My print that I was doing earlier is done. I have a bunch of pegboard hooks now. Hey, pegboard hooks.
All right. Yeah.
I'm printing another thing for my pegboard and organize my stuff.
Did you just show something, Spence? Buddy, I missed it.
Yeah, just this is what I was printing earlier when I showed my printer. They're just these little hooks for pegboard. So I got a bunch of those. I have a new one printing now that, well, I'm going to put a soldering iron on so I can put the soldering iron up on the wall. So I, don't knock it on the desk and light my house on fire. Those are going. I had one other bit that I was thinking about in terms of sort of the topic of long distance collaboration. I have one bit that I've done every now and again. I have kitepaint.com, something that maybe some folks have seen. And just as an example, I was talking with Blake the other day, Blake Pelton, and he wanted to order a paraglider, and so he sent me a photo. I've done this a few times, where he just send me a photo of the kite, or he pulled off the image from the paraglider company of here's the color settings that they, here's the 3 options. He just sent me a photo of that. So I traced that out in Illustrator, and then Illustrator can just save as an SVG file, which then I can open up in a text file and make some changes, drop that into Kite Paint, and then I even do this when I ordered custom Nirvanas. Nirvana didn't have a colorizer of any sort, so I just do that, throw it up there, and I can put it up on Kite Paint in a way that no one else can find it. And so then I can just do whatever I want and set up all the colors you can select and that sort of thing. So that's been kind of a nice collaboration bit that I've been able to do now and again. So those are kind of fun. And now I can go from a photo of a kite and have it up on Kite Paint, be fully colorizable in like less than an hour. So
that's interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys with those brackets gave me a great idea on how to make a bracket like that out of PVC tubes that are cut and bent onto a rack that's mounted to a PVC rack on wheels, actually. I'm drawing it as we speak practically, you know, because I've landed all this extra fabric and it's sitting out in the garage. I've got to do something with it. I've got tons of it in the workshop. But in looking at your schematics, you know, of course, 3D printing is, you know, it's quick. But since I don't have that here, the whole design gave me an idea on how to make it out of PVC.
Well, and I think like one thing I would do differently on the fabric hooks is I'd probably leave the hooks that I have already, but I'd probably move them farther out and throw a rod through and then just put the hooks on the rod, and then the pressure point doesn't matter. You know, it's just a matter of getting a bunch of rods that'll fit in my closet there.
True.
But
yes.
Yeah.
You run a dowel basically through the cardboard tube, and that is what rests on the bracket. So
yeah,
the bracket
take all the pressure off the fabric. Yeah. And then it's like, you know, I'm not going to bother reprinting a whole set, you know, in Lindsey's newer, nicer hook. When like these will work fine if it just whatever.
That looks pretty tight in your closet there. That looks really good.
Yeah, it turned out nicely.
Yes.
I'll show you the other bit that so these pegboards. I've been printing some custom things for my pegboard so I can put everything up. So I made some like for tapes and stuff. We've got some little hooks for these kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
To hold tapes.
Right.
And then you know, baskets and whatever other kind of stuff I want to put up on there. So that's been kind of a nice thing to play with as well and organize things. But yeah.
Are you getting those designs from Thingiverse?
Sometimes, or sometimes I build them myself. I've switched over. I was using Tinkercad for a while, but now I'm trying to use Blender more. So yeah, some of them, like the basic hooks and stuff, yeah, they're generic enough. I can just grab them off of Thingiverse. Otherwise, I can take maybe whatever.
I missed the. I'm afraid that I just slipped back in, and I missed the name of the software you were using to design your kite.
To design the kites or the models?
The kites.
Kite Paint. Kitepaint.com is that's a website that I built a few years ago, and I just kind of maintain, and just a way for me to be able to throw up colorizers for, you know, if you have a kite that you're making and you want people to do custom orders and things and change the colors, then that makes that a lot easier. I think actually first sold them for Bazzer for the B Series Pros. Yeah.
Is that still open? Is that site public and still available?
Yeah, you can go kitepaint.com, and it's right there. I basically have, like, you know, people come to me to have them set up, and then it just doesn't take me long to do it. And then I have different settings of make them private so no one can get to them, make them unlisted so they're not shown on this site. But if you have the URL, you can go and you can do the things, or you can set it public, and then anybody can create an account and do their colors and save them. And so it's great for, you know, general kite nerds who just want to, you know, fantasize about all the kites they want to buy. So
you spend so many hours once you have one just going through and playing and playing and playing. But that's the whole idea of them, and it's, as Spencer well knows, it's fantastic for the customers. They just sit down and they play. And then you get the endless emails of, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? But nah, it's a great job.
Yeah, and I think right now I have at least, I'm coming up on 3,000 saved designs. on kite paint of all the people that have come in and set colors and save them. They just there.
Yeah, I used to keep them on file when people sent them through, and yeah, I needed some hard drive space back. So after a few years, I did the cull. Yeah, it's quite funny.
Rhonda just wrote a comment for Lindsey. Lindsey, look up the comments.
Oh, yeah, we have colors, lots of colors of filament, another aspect of the creative process. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in 3D printing, you have a wide array of colors that you can choose from. When we were doing the headbands, I think we had 11 or 12 colors. No, Waddy's did.
He's having the dig.
This is my favorite so far.
Oh, Nifty Red.
Yeah, it's so shiny.
Nice.
And this is TPU, so it's flexible. So I'm using these for T fittings for quad line kites now, and then this is the same thing in black, same sort of material, but the red's so shiny, so cool.
Hang on just a second. Oh.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you. I've got to get a child down to his tumbling gymnastics. It's that time of the morning.
Yeah.
Time to be taxi.
Thanks for coming in.
Oh, no, take care, guys. Love to see everybody. And I'll talk to you again soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right, Baz.
Cheers, guys.
Take care, Baz. Yeah. Take good care.
So this is also the flexible. This is the, I think this is more flexible than what you printed, Waddy. This is the Ninjaflex. So it's I think it's a 80A shore hardness. But what's amazing about this is all 3D printed also, and it's a strap that goes around. It's on the battery pack of the quad light sets that I developed with Mario DeLuca. But this stuff you can stretch it. It's got about a 5,000 pound tensile strength. I mean, you can almost tow a truck with it, I think, and that's even with a hole in it. So stuff's amazing what we're able to do.
And at least this stuff, this is the harder TPU. This is like a 95 compared to Lindsey's 80 there. It's a little bit harder, but with my printer, you know, this is Ender 3. It's like maybe $200 or so to get the printer, and this printed without any problem, pretty much as easy as PLA. A little bit more stringiness, but this is really easy to print even with a basic printer.
Yes. Yeah, that's because it prints at a lower temperature. But then you can go to the semi-rigid.
What's the advantage? Is GPU just flexible stuff? Is that the advantage of the GPU? Is it's flexible?
Yeah, so that's why I use it for the T-fitting. So I don't want to break my rods in the T-fitting, or it needs to have a little bit of give for some of those cases.
But the semi-rigid, the semi-rigid is almost as hard as nylon, but it prints very easily. But it still has some flex to it, not much, but a little bit, and it's pretty resilient. But it definitely is harder because I've made this. This is a dihedral for it's a forward dihedral. This was for Doug Stout for the Bird of Prey, but I ended up making those out of. We finally settled on carbon fiber nylon, and the carbon fiber nylon. I mean, you can't. I mean, I put steel rods in to try and break them, and you can't break them. So the carbon fiber is going to, or fiberglass is going to collapse before it breaks, or before the part breaks. And that's where, just getting all your settings dialed in. And that's the key to it, because,
is the carbon fiber pretty tough on your nozzle though?
Yes. Yeah, I have a hardened steel nozzle. Which, I mean, they're under $30 for the nozzle. So, and you can print anything through the nozzle.
Nozzles are pretty cheap. I got this like pile of them for, you know, I don't know, like $10 or something. Like this is pretty cheap. So I, you know, if I start having issues, just like whatever, pull up and swap a nozzle.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is that with a brass nozzle like that, you may not even get through a half a kilo before the nozzle's gone, is because the carbon fiber is so abrasive. It'll just chew up the brass just so fast. But yeah, and the other thing with the carbon fiber is that it's lighter, much lighter in weight. So that's why I use it. And you don't have to think about it. I mean, I could be, you know, a lot of these fittings, like I said before, you could print them out of the PLA, the polylactic acid, you know, but they're not going to hold up down the road. You may think they are, but they don't know how, you know, they'll fail sometime, because if ABS, injection molded ABS, is failing, you know, that polymer is going to fail too. But
Lindsey,
otherwise we'd be making
Northern Lights for kites.
Somebody asked.
Yeah.
Oh, Rhonda.
Your better half.
Yeah, but well, that was the other collaboration too. You know, the collaborative thing with Mario DeLuca. You know,
right.
Up in you know, Canada. I mean, we see each other once in a while at kite festivals, but you know, we collaborate on stuff at a distance, and so coming up with a light system for the quad kites, and then you know, and working with Spence, you know, has a set or a few sets, and then we came up with he made a suggestion, and in fact it was that strap.
I thought so.
This guy.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. And so that was another one of those collaborative things. So
what was the
just, you know, it's just keeping the line of communication open between people. So, hey, Mark.
What was the material that you made this strap with?
Oh, this is a polyurethane, a flexible polyurethane called Ninjaflex. And I'm pretty sure Ninjaflex right now may be the only one that's producing this TPU, the thermopolyurethane, at that durometer, that hardness. Most everybody's starting point is what Spence showed, that the hardness that he showed. And the problem is that this is so flexible that the filament itself is so flexible that you get your machine has to be really tuned up in order for it to work right, because this is let's see if I can put it down here. This is the durometer of the filament. See, it's only less than 2 millimeters in diameter, and this is really flexible. This is what Waddy printed that part out that he was showing, and you know, I just tied it into a knot, and the problem is that in 3D printing, you're pushing this fabric through a tube and the nozzle, and what happens is that if you're not tuned up right, this will buckle and it'll start buckling and coming out before it even gets through the nozzle. And this is the stiffer stuff. What I printed this strap with is even more flexible than that. I mean, I can take the filament and stretch it. And so the printer that Spence has, this is probably as flexible as he's going to be able to print because of the type of the feed that's used. He can upgrade to a different type of extruder, to different feed.
Yep.
Then he'd be able to print more flexible materials. And then he'd have to spend another, you know, $150 or something like that. You know,
no, it'd be like $20. It'd be like $20 for me to get an upgraded extruder.
A direct drive.
I've seen people able to print like 8085s just with an upgraded extruder part still going through the Bowden. So
Yeah.
I was going to try that at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, direct drive, even that, I could probably, you know, way under $100 to upgrade to direct drive.
Yeah, but for a good one.
I mean, it's just a bracket, basically.
But yeah, there's all sorts of mechanics that are involved in the different types of drives to make them optimum for printing flexible fabrics and soft stuff. So. Did that answer your question, Mark?
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Anybody else? We're dropping people, aren't we? Or how are we doing? So are we have we beaten this up enough, or any other questions?
Are you serving lunch?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to make me a sandwich.
Sandwich? I could, but I'm not.
Too late for sandwiches. Yeah, I mean, you guys are at 2 hours, 15 minutes. So
wow.
Feel free to keep chatting. I'm going to hop off at this point. I need to walk around a little bit and get some fighter kites ready for the next session at 4 o'clock. So.
Are you going to share the link on here?
Huh?
Are you going to share the link on here?
Yeah, sure. So unfortunately, that was supposed to be a fighter kite build along, but the person changed their mind somewhat last minute. So I've gone down into the archives and I've grabbed a handful of different fighter kites that are here. And I'm going to show them on the screen and maybe talk about them. And yeah, after that, I'm going to do a little bit of a showcase of people that have already submitted for a challenge, including Mr. Mitch Cordover, who will be a proud recipient of one of those. Hold on, let me go grab one.
Whoa. So I've won a butterfly.
Yes.
Did you 3D print those?
How come I'm not seeing?
No, I'm not cool enough that I 3D printed them. I painted the paper, cut out the paper, and then pieced them all together.
Whoa.
So
very nice.
But yeah.
Yay.
So each of the challenge participants will be receiving those. But yeah, those are the
Huh? Till midnight, right?
We have what?
We have till midnight tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. You have until midnight.
You have work to do, Rhonda.
Oh, Glenda wants to see the butterfly again. So each one of them looks different because the paper, cool. I painted all the paper and then I cut out the pieces. And so like, you know, this is on a different, it's the same color as on maybe a different butterfly type of thing. But yeah, I'll show
you know what I like the best is the writing at the bottom.
Yeah. I don't have great handwriting, but I tried. It says "We Fly Global Kite Conference 2020." So.
But I like the writing. It has a lot of heart.
Yes. So yeah, I'll post the links. I'm going to mute myself and turn off the camera, and then I'm going to step out and go for a little bit of a walk. So,
okay, but just to clarify, then the one at 4 o'clock is your fighter kite demo, and then at 5 o'clock is the review of the challenges.
Yes. Yeah. It might be. Hold on. It might be 5:15, 5:30.
5:30. Okay, got it.
Yep. Yep.
And that's the last. That's the last for the day for the conference.
Yep.
Okay. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
I'm almost there.
Bleeding from her ears, but she's almost there.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's been an incredible weekend.
Yes. So I'm not sure if you saw in one of the other chats, I've been saying it a handful of times. I'm definitely open to feedback. I wanted to keep this as bare bones as possible so we could grow from here. We could kind of decide where it's best going to look. So after the conference is over, I'll be sending out emails. I'll be posting on Facebook. I want your feedback. I want your thoughts. Anything you can think of to make this better, because I've gotten tons of requests to do another one, so that's going to be happening. But yeah, let me unpin myself.
Nick?
Yeah?
So, I've been doodling for your, that little moth thing you do.
Yeah.
Oh, for the Felina.
Oh, geez. See?
Celtic wing.
Long distance collaboration.
I didn't know it existed, so I decided I'd try that while I was listening.
What you got there, Dave? Let me see.
Cool.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, show it again.
Hey.
Whoa.
Nice.
So I figured with pinks and purples, iridescence to blues, that might work.
Cool.
Holy Toledo! You just drew that freehand. I don't even dream that complicated.
I draw everything freehand.
Doodling while you're doing something else. That's what I was talking about, yesterday also. Doodling little things that turn into kites while you're talking to people on the phone or texting or live talking. That happens a lot.
Yeah, it works. That was a doodle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful.
And then I got serious about it, so.
A lot of the stuff that I've done in recent times are from doodles, Yeah.
Well, I'm going to slide back off. Thank you all. This group is so creative. It's just mind-boggling to me. I mean, I wonder why I'm even in this business, because you guys are so productive. It's amazing. So,
we're a bunch of slugs.
Well,
thanks.
Mitch, you bring a huge thing to the group as well. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, numbers of months alive. My big contribution is numbers of years survived.
It's a lot more than you think. It's a lot more than you. I think everybody. That goes for everybody here. So.
Well, I'll catch all you guys in half an hour.
Yeah.
So long.
See you, Mitch.
See you, Mitch.
Bye. Hey, Waddy, do you have your dog steak there?
It's on the garage in the kite bag. I can go grab it if you want.
Okay. Oh,
yeah?
I was just gonna let everybody know that yesterday, I can't remember, we were in that applique group or something. I don't know. Anyway, and so Waddy holds up this part, and it's his new dog steak for the
the kite steak.
Kite steak, or not dog steak. That's what I meant. Yeah, the kite steak for his handles, and it's got it's Bluetooth enabled so that he can find it with his phone.
Yeah, I just finished that yesterday and finished letting the glue cure today. A little 3D printed casing for a tracker.
Yeah. So does it look also at night?
Yeah, the tracker does. Like the little tracker guy has some little lights in it. They're not like particularly bright, but at least it'd be something. When it's dark out, I guess it would help a bit. Was thinking about maybe.
It's got a little GPS guy in it, so you can. Or do you?
Not necessarily, because it's just this little bitty thing. So there's not a whole lot to it. It's basically Bluetooth connected. So when your phone's in range, it'll connect to it through Bluetooth, and you can make a sound, so it's easier to find. But it'll also have some things of like it'll have on a map where it was last seen, or like you can notify you when you're separated from it, like the Bluetooth disconnects because you're too far away, and it'll notify you, like stuff like that. So it might even be kind of handy to just to have that steak in my kite bag, so that I have that kind of tracking in my bag in general. But not so much like direct GPS tracking, but little something. So I know I've combed through fields a few times looking for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have helped out on Antelope Island when the wind stopped and all the kites came down onto the ground. and we couldn't find all the kites. Yeah.
Yeah.
At night.
So Lindsey,
cool.
I'm gonna go get me some lunch here. I'm starving.
Yeah,
to
I
death.
am too.
Lunch is ready, so I'll see you guys up ahead in the afternoon on some other chats. And
yeah,
cheers to everybody.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
It's been great, guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Waddy, let's stay in touch on some stuff. So.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome
all right.
stuff.
Thanks, guys. Nice seeing you guys.
All right. See you later.
It's been great.
Bye. Oh, nice picture, Monty.
Hey,
Take
Lindsey,
care.
can I give you a call later this week?
What's that?
Can I give you a call later this week?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow, we're supposed to get a Prusa 3D printer.
Oh, you're getting a Prusa?
Yeah, Prusa, I mean. And
yeah.
So
all right.
The funny thing about it was I was talking to Chris Hansen about his, and I go, would you buy another one? He goes, I'd probably buy the Prusa like Lindsey did. And I was like, sold. If Lindsey bought it, I know it's a good product.
Yeah. So so you got the Mark III, you didn't get the Mini?
Yeah, I got the Mark III.
Okay, very good. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got we've got 5 of them now.
Yeah.
So anyway. All right.
So I might be doing some collaboration with you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're easy. I mean, they're I'm just finishing up Roger Holman's replacement printer.
Oh,
because he lent us his brand new one. It was sitting on the floor in his office. And I saw it in a Zoom meeting we had, so he lent that to us, and I told him, I said, I got to buy you a new one. I said, this thing's got hundreds of hours on it, and I said, I can't, in all honesty, give it back to you, So, so I'm just about got it assembled. I've got one more step, but I've built 3 generations of the Prusas. So I built the original i3, then I built Mark IIs, and now I've built the Mark IIIs. And the maturity is just, I mean, it is amazing. I mean, they've done such a great job, and you'll enjoy it. It's, it'll take, the full day if you want to push it. But what's great, what they do is that they give you a bag of gummy bears, and they make you divide up your build plate, and you put a stack in this array of gummy bears, and at the end of each section, it tells you what percentage of the gummy bears you can consume. So by the time you're done, you've consumed the whole bag of gummy bears.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you get something to eat, okay?
All right. Okie doke. Take care.
Bye.
All right. See you later.
See ya. Thank you again.
Hey, you're welcome. Have a good day. All right. We'll talk to you later.